Sonic X Shadow Generations has been looking great, and the game is just a few months away now. But instead of just talking about the game, I kind of want to talk about the game in context of the future. What I mean is that I would like to discuss how Shadow Generations level design and ideas could apply to the next open zone game, and why I hope they do that. So let's get on into it. The main example that I would really like to show is Kingdom Valley. This level has a degree of openness we have not seen in forever in a Sonic game. Genuinely, there is so many places to go, so many things to see, so many different routes, and so many different ways to go between routes. It's genuinely impressive how much stuff they've crammed in here. I also like the fact that a lot of these gimmicks seem to less rely on like reaction time or just like skill or whatever. It more just relies on the player wanting to interact with the mechanics in interesting ways. The biggest example is the fact that if you stomp on the rope, it sends you up higher. This type of stuff is awesome. It just gives the player options. It's less automated, and it's not just about how fast and how precise can you press a button. No, it just has more layers than that. The Doom powers also introduce a whole other layer of things to do that no other Boost game, just in their simple mechanics, could achieve. In Kingdom Valley specifically, there's tons of areas where you use the Doom Surf, and not only are these sections just cool, there's lots of ways to actually take upper paths that take you off the water so that you can boost and save some time. You can see that you get up here on this spiral section and there's an option you can take there. You also see on this wind rails section, there's an option to take another wind rail to the right. My point is that despite the fact that this is a linear level, it really gives you so many options. There's so many things to do. They're like, when I look at this, all I can think about is, ooh, what's that? I want to try that. That is something I haven't felt in a Sonic game. Even looking at any of the older Sonic games, I don't feel like they invoke that much curiosity out of the player. I feel like only the adventure games and their level design really made me think, whoa, like, what was that, you know? I have that happen sometimes in Boost games, but I feel like that is really just a core part of the adventure mindset. I really feel like that's a fundamental you see in that type of gameplay style, less so in the traditional Boost. So, saying all that, I'm praising Shadow Generations for appearing to give you lots of options, lots of time skips, and a lot of adventure-styled philosophies in its level design. But what does any of that mean? Like, what's my point there? What I'm saying is that I think that should be what open zone Sonic gameplay is. Instead of necessarily focusing on how big the map is, or necessarily how many places you can go, I feel like it should be more about, here's an area, here's like 1,000 different ways to explore it. Instead of just a big map with scattered platforming sections, you have more of like a big area. I think you should be able to go in most all directions, but I think each of those directions should be their own mini level with varying heights, with different places to go. Maybe if you have some place, just add a cave in the lower path, because why not? That's cool. And Kingdom Valley in Shadow Generations is just a perfect example of that. What I'm wanting is just this, but instead of it being more of a straight line level with one direction you need to head, just do that, but in all directions. Make it where you can go any way you want and kind of skip between paths, if you know what I mean. It's basically like you can get anywhere, but there's always a different way to get there. Instead of taking this path and then going up this spring and this thing to get to this spot, no, there's a ton of ways to get everywhere. All the important places on the map should have lots of different routes and paths to get there. So in my opinion, I think the best way to do an open zone thing is basically just having Shadow Generations level design, but in all angles. Instead of going one direction, you can go any direction you want. If we're able to truly get that in the next open zone game, it's gonna be so good, man. So that's about it for this video. Yeah, it's a super short video, but I really just wanted to talk about this more so as a discussion topic. So I really do. I really do. I invite you to comment down below your thoughts on this. What are your ideas, your suggestions? What things do you want to see in the next Open Zone Sonic game? Because I just kind of wanted to bring up this topic because it's something I had been thinking about for a little bit. With the sheer amount of openness that Shadow Generations is giving in its level design, at least in Kingdom Valley, we can see that in the other levels, it's definitely a lot more linear, but it's still shockingly more open than we've seen in so long in Sonic games. And it's just so refreshing. So basically, Shadow Generations is good. I want more of that good, but in other Sonic games, so Sonic can be good Sonic game good yet. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day. God bless.